Thanks for stopping by. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a comment, and please think about subscribing. And hey, remember, watching just 30 seconds of an ad helps us creators more than you know. You're awesome. Have an amazing day. Let's begin.
My mother-in-law and my husband's ex-wife hired someone to attack me. Hi Reddit. I'm posting this from a throwaway because I don't want this tied to my main. I honestly still can't believe this happened. But after everything, I just need to get it out. Let me start by saying, they hated me from the moment they saw me. Not for anything I did, at least not at first. I was just a reminder. A symbol of everything they'd lost. Camilla, my husband's ex-wife, and Lorraine, his mother, were inseparable. A terrifying bond built on codependence and shared delusions. Camilla used to be the golden girl. The perfect match. The shining daughter-in-law. But when Ethan filed for divorce, that glittering image shattered. I was no longer content in a loveless marriage, he told me. His voice tired but honest. I tried. 4 years. But it was dead. Camilla did not take it well. The custody battle was brutal. She tried everything to make the process as miserable as possible. I'm talking about denying visitation, hiding assets, assassinating his character, even insinuating questionable allegations of abuse. It was vile. She was vile. But for some strange reason, my mother-in-law stood by her side the entire time. Fast forward to the present. Camilla is more cordial with him, but she hates me. She is convinced he had been cheating in their marriage with me. Even though I hadn't met Ethan until 2 years after their divorce was finalized. That didn't matter to her. Or to Lorraine. In their minds, I had stolen him. Seduced him, torn their family apart. Lorraine made it clear I would never be good enough. I was never completely accepted. Nothing I did pleased her. Nothing I cooked could hold a candle to Camilla's overhyped roast chicken. At dinners, she would whisper just loud enough for me to hear. Camilla has impeccable taste. She used to wear classy ensembles no matter the occasion. Not whatever she has on. Or my favorite put down. Camilla always made this with just a hint of time. But this is fine, I guess. There was something in the cold, assessing way Lorraine's eyes scanned me when I opened the door to her unannounced visits. In the way she looked past me, lips tight, asking only for her grandbaby. She never used my name. Not once. Camilla was worse. Camilla treated me like I was invisible, until she wanted to cut me down. Once I showed up at Ethan's office with lunch, and Camilla just happened to be there wearing a bright red skin-tight bodycon dress, sky-high stilettos, and a beat face. She leaned onto his desk like she still belonged there. I handed Ethan his lunch, completely ignoring her, and gave him a kiss on the cheek. Out of the corner of my eye, I could see her sneering at me like I was the help. When I was leaving, I heard her mutter under her breath. He always did like strays. Then there was the morning she dropped off their son and asked me, completely serious. Does Ethan keep you around out of guilt, or just for the novelty? Her red lips curled into a poisonous smile. Before I could respond, she turned away and sashayed off to her Porsche. The woman was obsessed. She just wouldn't stop. She'd send him photos from her beach trips, posing in bikinis, with captions like, "Miss this?" The answer was always no. Ethan never responded, but she never got the message. Eventually she stopped pretending altogether to be decent with me. She didn't care if Ethan was around or not. Her disdain for me was written in every line of her face. I don't think she loved Ethan, I really don't. The reason I believe she couldn't move on was because she hadn't found another wealthy man to bankroll her spending and affluent lifestyle she had grown accustomed to. The alimony and child support wasn't enough. She wanted the golden goose back. In my opinion, the only good thing about Camilla is the son her and Ethan share together. He's a bright, sweet boy who tugs at Ethan's heartstrings and gave Camilla endless leverage. She used Ethan's love for his son to the fullest. She weaponized his son, faked illnesses, feigned forgotten appointments. She'd manipulate Ethan with a rehearsed teary voice, in her weekly, "He misses his daddy," phone calls. She'd pulled these particular stunts whenever she sensed Ethan slipping further from her control. I tried to take the high road. I stayed polite. I smiled through clenched teeth. But the pressure mounted, and I didn't know how much more I could take. The tension started bleeding into every corner of my life, long before the attack. It chipped away at me. Slowly and cruelly. I felt it was all building toward something. I could feel it in my bones, and I was right. April 3rd. It was cold and gray. Rain misting the air. The kind of rain that soaked through your clothes and clung to your skin. I almost stayed in bed. My legs ached from the stress of the week and my eyes were gritty from lack of sleep. But jogging cleared my head. Always had. I slipped on my leggings, zipped my phone into the armband, and clipped my siren on. I checked my pepper spray. It was full, and my taser was charged. I never jogged without them. The streets were quiet, the pavement slick. Trees loomed overhead like watching sentinels. My breath puffed in the morning chill. I passed the empty playground, the library with its lights off, and turned onto the trail that curved behind the park. That's when I felt it. Not heard it, but I sensed it. That prickling sensation down my neck. The one your body registers before your mind can catch up. I paused. Pulled one AirPod out. I listened carefully but I didn't hear anything. Was it another jogger maybe, or a cyclist? I turned around and there he was. Just a man. Average height. His hoodie pulled low. He wasn't jogging. He wasn't walking. Just standing on the path. Watching me. My blood ran cold. I turned back toward the street, forcing my pace faster, not sprinting but just quick enough to get back to visibility. But I heard the steps now. Fast and closing in. Then all of a sudden. Impact. I hit the ground hard. My shoulder screamed. Air ripped from my lungs. A hand clamped over my mouth. I thrashed and kicked as hard as I could. The attacker tried to yank up my shirt with one hand, keeping the other over my face. His fingers smelled like dirt and rust. My scream came out muffled, a wild, animal-like noise. I went for my pepper spray first. He slapped it out of my hand. Then I remembered my self-defense training. I slammed my knee up, straight into his groin. He screamed in pain, his body jerking forward. I twisted, biting his wrist, finally free of his grip. He grabbed my ponytail. Yanked me back. But I had the taser now. I turned and fired it straight into his ribcage. He convulsed, screaming, spasming like a fish out of water. I scrambled to my feet. My hands shook as I activated my siren. The screech pierced the air, echoing off the trees. And then, a miracle. Headlights appeared down the street. A police cruiser rolled up from the side road. Slowing down, then stopping as the officer jumped out. She took one look at me, bloodied, wild-eyed, shirt torn, and she tackled the man who was still twitching on the ground. It was over in seconds. But to me, it felt like a lifetime. The officer, Officer Hale, wrapped a blanket around me, her voice calm and firm as she called it in. Backup arrived. EMTs. I watched the attacker get hauled into the back of a different cruiser, his eyes wild and rolling. I couldn't stop shaking. They put me in the ambulance. At the hospital, they cleaned me up and photographed my wounds. I had a bruised collarbone, 2 cracked ribs, and what would be a hell of a black eye by morning. But I was alive. The detectives came quickly. The attacker, Elliot Mason, had spilled everything the moment they got him into an interview room. He named Camilla, and he named Lorraine. He said they'd promised him $5,000 up front just to rough me up. Just to keep me down long enough for Camilla to get her family back together. He even had text messages. One read, "No need to kill her. Just make sure she's broken. We need her out of the way. He'll come back home eventually." I threw up in a hospital garbage can when they read it to me. Camilla and Lorraine were arrested 2 days later. I watched the footage on the news, Lorraine in a cardigan and pearls and Camilla in oversized sunglasses and a trench coat. Both trying to hide their faces. They were charged with conspiracy to commit aggravated assault, solicitation of bodily harm, and obstruction of justice. Ethan sat next to me on the couch as I watched the news coverage, white-knuckled and shaking. He had been through a lot since getting the call about my attack. Before he was allowed to visit me, he had to consent to a police interview. At first, the police suspected him right away, but his alibi was airtight. He was at work, and I know what I saw, it wasn't him. Still, they hadn't completely ruled him out as being involved somehow. I didn't know, he said, voice ragged. I swear to God, I didn't know. And I believed him. Because I saw the terror in his eyes when he entered my hospital room. The guilt. The rage. Ethan went to every hearing. He testified. He told the judge everything he knew. He refused to let their son near Camilla without supervised visits. He filed for full custody. Which we won. Lorraine lost everything. Her friends, her reputation, her freedom. She was sentenced to 2 years, with parole after 1. Camilla got more. 5 years. No parole for the first 3. She wept in court, tried to blame postpartum depression, tried to claim she'd been manipulated. The jury didn't buy it. And Ethan's son? He never asked about the attack. But he did ask if I'd still be there in the morning. When I said yes, he curled up beside me and said, "Good. You make Dad happy." I told you, he's the sweetest kid you'll ever meet. I broke down in the hallway of the courthouse after sentencing. Everything hit me at once. I almost died. After everything was said and done, Ethan and I moved on the best we could. I no longer jog anywhere but at my home on a treadmill. Anywhere else would be too triggering for me. Sometimes, I have panic attacks and break down, but I know I will get through this. Camilla and Lorraine didn't win. They didn't erase me. They just made me stronger.